Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow, Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
All right, man. Give y'all a bonus, man. Driving. Decided to squeeze this in. It's probably go up, obviously, tomorrow, man. And shout out to BT from True School Sports. Real cool dude. Met him in Vegas. Go check out his channel, True School Sports. All right. Great interviews. You know, he said he usually ain't the one to be breaking news or nothing like that. He got a call that, Terence Crawford got offered a 3-fight deal. I believe, I can't remember. He said the first, the bigger deal was 3 fights, $14 million. He said that PBC won't go no higher than 15. I think he said his Errol Spence fight is guaranteed $9 million. And then it's guaranteed $3 million on the last 2 fights. So, that's about 14. But he said they won't go no higher than 15. I think he might have said the first. I can't remember what he said exactly. Was the first? Can't remember what he said. What was the first deal? But it wasn't as much as 15. I think it was like 12 or something. And like I said before, man, it's a lot of conflicting reports out here. Dan Rayfield saying something, and I heard that it wasn't true for somebody close. That somebody else said that they heard from somebody else that close to it that it was close to being finalized. And like I said before, guaranteed $9 million, but it's a lot of other details that go into that. I'm guaranteed, remember on paper, PBC, guarantee, your guarantee is that, but you get 1 or 2 more checks on the back end or whatever. Right? So, maybe it's just a guarantee with the upside on the back end on all 3 fights. Right? The 9 is 3 more than he made guaranteed against Sean Porter and Amir Khan. Guaranteed. Remember that. It's guaranteed. And he probably gonna bring home the $15 million with their back end money. Remember Al Heyman? Remember the reason they don't care how the pay-per-views do? Al Heyman get a lot of money from sponsorships. If you don't know, why that's important. If you look at all the music tours, he did the Budweiser tour. If you watch the DMX documentary, the Rough Rider documentary, it talked about when one of their bigger sponsors put out of their tour, they could not continue to tour financially until another sponsor, stepped in and filled that financial void. Same thing with Al Heyman. ESPN tried to duplicate. Are you gonna turn or not? ESPN tried to duplicate what Al Heyman had done. He told ESPN what he do as far as how he get the revenue, I guess, dealing with the advertisement. And they tried to hire Bob Arum, and they tried to duplicate it with Bob Arum. But they didn't know the process in which you do it. And pretty much he just, this is my opinion, I believe he's using, this kitty don't get out the road. In my opinion, I believe he's using the same formula with a boxing twist that he used for music tours. Right? And that's what he's doing. He's using the advertisement to fund the fights. And he's making the majority of the money that he's making, a lot of that is being funded by the advertisement. And I guarantee you a large amount of that funding that goes into covering the fight, it also, a large part of that go in his pocket. He make a lot of money. But from the TV rights is where he make a lot of money in. You got boxing fans saying, well, these fighters getting a portion of the TV rights. You sound stupid. Nobody not named like Mayweather getting TV rights. Anthony Joshua ain't. Canelo getting Mexican TV rights. You're not getting international or national U.S. TV rights. That's why Top Rank is able. That's why they cannot put on another fight and still rack in a good amount of money because they fight vault. Ton of videos, and that's very prestigious to ESPN as well too. Not just the fights that they put on, but the fights they have ownership to as well. Right? So State boys on the little in the cut. You know, so like I said before, I think very believable. It can be it's guaranteed. There's more money outside of guaranteed money. There's gate. They usually get 3% of the gate. They usually get 3% of the pay-per-views at the 150,000. So that's 6% of revenue you got right there. And who knows how much of the advertisement revenue they get. So this might not too far-fetched out. He probably end up making what? His 15 when the Earl Spence fight. He'll probably make the 15 when it was all said and done, maybe even more. He'll probably fuck around and make 7-8 on 2 other fights. But then again, with the guarantee of $3 million, well, you guarantee me the same money Jermell Charlo get. No offense to Jermell Charlo, you guarantee me the same money around Caleb Plant getting. No, I'm bigger names than all of them dudes, and my bag is bigger than all of them. And by him being able to sustain his negotiations and not need a paycheck and not be desperate for money and take any old deal, that also showed PBC that he got some money and that he ain't desperate to fight. Or at least financially desperate to fight. So Crawford, it appears that Crawford bag is right. He ain't dependent on a lawsuit or dependent on another fight to put my bread on his table. It seems like he done right with his money. He talked about investing his money and all types of stuff. So that's another monkey wrench in there. When you talking about that deal that they trying to, and people say, well, they signed Canelo to a 3-fight, $100 million, whatever it is. Canelo Alvarez. If you look at the Forbes list that year, the Forbes list didn't represent the money that he said he got from PBC. He was like 10th or 20th or 30th on the Forbes list. And that money had him, like if you look at that Forbes list from last year, or this year, posted this year, that deal, that money he made, it wasn't, it wasn't replicated or it wasn't posted, in the Forbes magazine. So they said he made like $20 million or some shit like that off fights. So, it is what it is. It could be a guarantee of 15, but it could be a contract worth 30, 40, $50 million potentially. So you're just talking about the guarantee. That's exactly what it is. Guaranteed is what they gonna show on paper. Now, I ain't no expert, but that's just a guarantee. Who knows what he can make through Al Heyman, advertisement, and who knows what he can make, through pay-per-view and the gate and all the merchandise and resort fees and whatever else they got going on. A lot of the UFC fighters make a lot of their money off of advertisement. I was watching that interview that Daniel Cormier did with The Pivot. A lot of the money he was making came off advertisement, he said. So, that's just something to like to think about for a minute. That's something to think about for a minute. Just because it says guarantee, that's just what you guarantee. That's just a hard guarantee. They say, well, Fury made 14, and on paper it said guarantee of 1.5, 2.5. They do that for I guess they do that for sanctioning fee purposes. 2 or 3% of 2.5 is better than 2 or 3% of $14 million. So it's a lot that y'all don't really understand that go into all this, and they got a formula that keep boxers broke too. Because once you think about it, you gotta pay a cut man, you gotta pay your coach, right? But whatever you paying them, then you gotta pay a promotional fee. You gotta pay your hotel, your entourage hotel when they come to the fight. That come out the fighter's fucking purse. And you paying the promoter, you paying them a promotional fee for promoting the fight. And they doing a terrible job of promoting and marketing fights. So you paying a promotional fee, you paying the cut man, you paying the trainer. I see people pay their trainer / manager / daddy 60% of their purse. Then you ain't even talking about paying taxes. And a lot of them, if they smart, and I say this about Errol Spence, he got that farm You know what I'm saying? And like he got some cattle and shit on that farm. That's a huge grant money, and that's probably a huge tax write-off. Legal tax evasion is where it's at. You know, that's where it's at, and that's one of the reasons why they can't tax the poor. Because a lot of their money is coming. It's just you can't tax it. Once you really understand it, you can't really tax. It's impossible to tax it. But, you know, nonetheless, man, that's just a guarantee. There's no talk about what the upside would be or what money he'd end up with. That's just a guarantee. It's exactly what it said it is. It's a guarantee. That's what you definitely gonna get, but you can get more. You can get more off the ad revenue. You can get more off the gate. You know, they get a piece of all of that. You know, if the gate do 10 million, get 3% of 10 million. You know? So it's a lot of these different ways. Advertising, sponsorship, selling your t-shirts, pay-per-views. You know, if it blow and, you know, do an unexpected million, 3% of a million, you know, it ain't a bad cut neither. The you know, that shit, they probably gonna price that at $100, bro. $100 million times 3%. But that's all I got. I just want to spit that real quick before I shoot this little move. Check out the Welterweight and Boxing News playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop a video. You know, hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcast, Spotify, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.